Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today's video will be the tips and advice video that I was talking about because some of you guys requested and thought it'd be a good idea. So in today's video we're going to be covering a lot of stuff, like I wrote a whole notepad down because we're going to go over a lot of stuff. So firstly there'll be timestamps in the description, so if you guys want to go to certain places, we're going to be covering the events, new players, returning players, which is kind of a hard one to do, so I'm probably just going to wing it, and then if you guys need any further help, because once again, if you're a returning player, you could be from many different parts of the game. You could have been from like a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 months, 6 months, so on and so forth. And you may be needing more direct advice, comment, and of course I can respond to any sort of advice you need. And then we've got, of course, the stuff that you guys asked me, because I put out a post on my community page going over what you guys would want to see. And it'll probably be at the end in like a miscellaneous sort of thing, because I didn't know where to put it. It's not really new players, it's not really returning players, so I put it at the bottom. So wherever I've titled it in the timestamps, it'll be the last one. You can go there and you can maybe see one of the questions. I'm pretty sure I've got all you guys' questions that you guys left me. Yeah, if I've missed any, once again, leave them in the comments and I can just reply. I reply to all the comments if you guys need anything or you're struggling with anything. And if I'm unable to give you a satisfactory bit of advice, click on here. And you can go to the official 7DS Discord and go to the little Help Me channel, and then you can ask the people of the lovely Discord your questions, queries, or advice, tips, whatever you need to help you. And that's it, and I hope you guys enjoy the video. If there's any other videos you guys want to see, maybe about stuff I quickly brush over, you want to see more I guess, detail on it, let me know in the comments, and of course, I'll be more than happy to go over it. And now, enjoy the video. Okay, here we are on to the first section, which will be the event. We're going to go over the full event, everything including the banner as well, just so people sort of understand it. If they're a new player, they may not understand how these sort of events happen. This is also a slightly different event. We've also got some new stuff they've never introduced in events before that my guess will be now common with future large events like this one. So, firstly, we've got, of course, the special missions. So the ways you obtain these are mainly from the Secret Garden, which will go over all the modes, everything, all the challenges, because there's a bunch of challenges and modes that the game doesn't really explain it too well. It is their first attempt at doing this, so nothing really against them. So, currently you are unable to get the final reward, because this event currently isn't out yet. It'll probably be returning either next week or the week after, not really too sure. We'll find out next week. Draw 3 heroes, just do 3 summons. It can be 3 single summons or 1 10 multi, does count as all 3, so that's fine. Clear the event Fort Soldiers, so as you go to here, this is the event Fort Soldiers. You can only do it once a day. It also gives you a diamond, so make sure you do that daily as well, just to get a little bit more diamonds. That's the hero trial. Here we go. So you've got complete the hero trial, like the thing I accidentally just clicked on, that is the hero trial. It'll give you 5 tickets from the mission, as well as 5 tickets from the actual hero trial itself. It is a new thing they've added. Will it be permanent? Like, will they keep adding it for new ones? They probably will. It is a very good thing. They should have added quite a while ago, and I do like it. So, yeah. And then you've got the defeat bosses in the Archer Lance event. So that is this event here. It says defeat 15 bosses. The way you defeat 15 bosses is that every 5 waves you fight a boss. And once again, you'd have to do it 3 times to defeat 15 bosses. I'm not sure if the bosses in the infinite stage count as bosses for you to be able to beat and count towards the goal. If not, you've just got to get to round 25 3 times, which is really simple and definitely doable on your first attempt. Here's the event here. The rewards are okay. It's not infinitely farmable. Just generally, the events are okay. We'll go into it in a second in a little bit more detail. And the final challenge, which is just eat 5 of the event foods in the event shop. So in the event shop, which will go into the garden part in a second, there is food you can buy specifically for the 6th JP anniversary, which is currently what we're playing. Hero Trial, you basically get to use the brand new heroes. It doesn't really explain it to you, you just get to use them for 3 stages, which is kind of cool, and it's something that I believe they should do more often with new characters. Just that means new players can sort of, you know, get a gist of what the new characters are like. Especially since like games like Star Rail and Genshin Impact and Zenless Zero has something like this. You can trial the characters when they come out, which I think is something that GRANDCROSS should sort of keep, instead of just keeping it just for special events like this. So, on to the big thing. So we have the Secret Garden here. We'll go to the garden party in a second. So the Secret Party is a event thing, so every X amount of hours, basically, over time, you get given these points. These points you can spend on these rewards. So you only have the first stage unlocked, the first level unlocked, at least initially, and the way you unlock the next level is by spending points. They will add probably 3, 4, and 5 in terms of the levels, and you can actually start making progress on unlocking them now. The way you do that is, as you can see here, I've got the last one unlocked, but I think, oh well, now you can't earn points for the next one. You can. The points you spend now are still tracked, and when 3, 4, and 5 come out, let's just say you need 4,000 points, 5,000 points, 5,000 points, I'm not sure how much it's going to be, you will have made progress towards that, maybe unlocking 1, 2, or even all 3 of the levels. So, you know, useful ones for new players is the 50% deathmatch stage, especially for new players who may be struggling. You don't really want to use skip tickets, don't really want to use stamina pots, and you know, getting all 6 of your demons a day is quite a ball ache sometimes. This is really handy. The demon reward's also quite nice as well. The event boss material one's also quite nice. Struggling on the event boss, you can get an extra 10% health for 5 times, same with attack as well. The double patrol thing, really worth it. The AOR thing is also quite worth it as well for pushing affinity for characters. And then deathmatch victory reward for the red demon is also quite nice for brand new players as well. Once again, over time, they'll add levels 3, 4, and 5, which will also have a bunch of other additional stuff as well. And you also got this as well, which I only just noticed that this is the thing. That's pretty cool. That is for Bird Floor 4, by the way. And now onto the Garden Party, which is probably what most people are stuck on or don't really understand about this event, because this is the first time they've ever brought something out. There are several different events hidden within this giant open world. We'll go over them from left to right. So that's the event shop there. As you can see, if I get close to it, it'll just pop up with the event shop. This is what the event shop is. Click on this. Wow, you got the event shop. This is the food you can buy as well. You give them these coins, so all the events in this little area will give you these coins. These coins you can spend here. Getting even like these Hawk secret boxes or LR coins, even diamonds, I believe. Yep, there's also a lucky bag as well. You got the Lance tickets for the Lance box. You've then got this one as well. Legendary LR coins. You want LR coins? Boom, there's 20 from here. Diamonds, I don't know how many diamonds you get, but you can get diamonds. These boxes are also pretty good as well. It is random, but you can actually get some quite decent stuff. Get some diamonds, UR pens, even some Super Awakening coins, which is really nice. Card set, make sure you grab this. This will be for the brand new card set, which works with Fairies and Giants, which is going to be kind of handy for the new Deanne and King teams. And of course, some new emotes which they've just added to the game, which all of them are pretty nice, and I definitely recommend grabbing them because we're not sure when they'll return or if they ever will return. So, if you go to these missions here, it does say something about treasure. So, some of you may not understand, play the treasure hunt. What's the treasure hunt? So, around the map, they have hidden little things. There are apparently 5 of them. I only know where 3 are. So, here's one here behind this tree. You collect it, and it gives you 20 coins. And once again, you can see it's got a little timer on it. You have to wait 5 minutes before you can investigate again, which is not bad. Every 5 minutes, you can basically get 20 coins, which is pretty nice. Run around the map. Here you got the fishing event, so that's where you get the clam. See, if we go back to the special missions again, it says you need to get the giant clam. You're going to get 1 a day, unfortunately, but you get it through this fishing event. Let me quickly show you how it works. You tap here, you get it in the best circle in the middle, and then you wait. If you're playing on mobile, it will vibrate if you have vibrate turned on when you get the catch here, when you get the pole. It's going to work. We can sit here for a while. There we go. The fish got away, but when the rod goes down, you pull it up. There you go. Stop fishing, and then of course you can get 100 coins of that from. You can get 100 coins from that a day. You are capped at 100, but you guarantee 100 a day. Here's another one of the treasure hunt items. In the lake, you get another 20 coins, and it resets in 5 minutes, which isn't bad. Bear in mind, every 5 minutes you get 20 coins. Of course, you might be capped at how many times you can do it a day. It might be capped at 2, might be capped at 4, might be capped at whatever. This is the Hawk event, so. As you can see here, you once again get daily rewards from this. These reset daily, which are okay. It's not really many coins, but it's fair enough. And you got the score rewards as well for reaching a cumulative score. Struggle to say that word. And the way you do it, it's just a sort of match the color sort of puzzle thing, like this and like that, so on and so forth. Every time you do 25, you get given either a random buff or you can get 1 random debuff. Let's just leave. I don't actually need to do it. I maxed it out already, but that's where this event is if you're struggling to find it. You got this darts event as well, which if you've been doing your demons, you've been getting these weird boxes. You can click on this, and you know it will do a special effect. Sometimes some of them are really good, like it will destroy all of one specific color, or others like that one where it will destroy a row. There are also coins hidden within it, and then you also then have a collective reward as well for cumulative points you get throughout the event. And yeah, this does not have daily rewards, so after you have got every single balloon, that's it, you can't get any more from this event. If we keep going this way, this is the market we were just at. If you go around here, hidden in the bush, there is another treasure. This one is just a 5-star hero enhanced potion. I don't actually know what the others are, but that is where the 3 I know is, and once again you can farm every 5 minutes, so it won't take you too long to max out everything. And of course you've got the shop here, which you can spend all the rewards you get for, you know, literally everything you want. And also, let's go back on to the main selection now. We can see everything. So the seasonal artifact wish draw event is basically where you can wish for seasonal artifacts, cards basically, that only release once again during, you know, the Christmas ones, or the Christmas cards, summer cards, spring cards, so on and so forth, Halloween cards. And you see here, you can go through all of the sets. Something I do wish, and if anyone from Netmarble is for some reason watching this, maybe write what it does underneath it, because not even I remember half these. I know some of them. This is the resistance set, which is, it's okay, because you like X% resistance, whatever the level is. Some good card sets I would recommend. There are 2 I would quite recommend. This is the summer card set, which boosts humans and unknowns attack by 3% per human and or unknown on the field, which is pretty handy, and it's a card set I use quite a bit when fighting bosses, event bosses. Scroll down even further towards the bottom. You got this brand new Fortnite set, which is quite good. Bear in mind, we're probably going to see some new Fortnite soon, whether that be, of course, from the main cast themselves or from the actual story itself. It'll be quite nice, and it's quite good at boosting them. I actually use this card set, this bottom card set, because I currently don't own the Endura card set. I use this for the Endura, which is, it's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, pretty good. It makes my lance pretty strong, which is what I like. And now we've got the event tower. So the event tower, currently there's only 6 floors, which if you're an old player, you think, why is there only 6 floors? So every week they'll be releasing 6 floors, I believe, for 5 weeks. So in total we'll have 30 floors, or 24. I think it's either we're getting 24 or 30 floors. But over every week they'll release all 6 floors. It's okay. Nothing too crazy. On to the welcome jump box, which is very good. Very, very good this time. You get this weird raffle ticket for GRANDCROSS Special 6th Anniversary swag. That's nice. I wish they actually told us what it actually was properly. So, your first one, you get a copy of Greenhawk. If you've been playing the game for a while, he's probably already 6'6". You get perfect HP defense gear, which, may I say, is like some of the best stuff you can get. So the main stat isn't perfect, but the substats are, which is huge. It's normally the most expensive thing, is the substats. It's a full set of HP defense. The second one is just an evolution box. It gives you 6 SSR pendants, and then some demon materials and some books as well, just to help you with some leveling. This one is the fully awakening one. It gives you a full awakening token and 12 super awakening coins. It's not really too much super awakening coins wise, but a full awakening token will always be quite useful, especially to the newer player. A grade box, 1 engraving, basically. You get 1 engraving and then some anvils on top of it. It's not too bad. The True Awakening box, so this is, in my opinion, the best one. You get 10 LR coins and 3 True Awakening coins, which, by the way, that is 36 Super Awakening coins. That's a lot. Bear in mind, I did 100 runs of Endura and didn't even get a full True Awakening character. This basically gives you a full True Awakening character for free. Of course, you still need the memory crystals, which if you can't do Demon King, you may struggle with, or you may have got it from previous events, or you've bought bundles. That give yourself some memory crystals, but don't worry, Demon King True Awakening isn't really that big of an issue if you don't have it. Another set of perfect HP defense, so throughout this entire event we get 2 sets of perfect HP defense, which is insane. Here is the Holy Relic thing, so I will be going over my suggestions for this later on, not in this current event stage bit, but later on. And then you've got 3 True Awakenings as well. Sorry, not 3 True Awakenings. 3 Relic upgrades as well for the Bird tier, which is okay. 3, well, you only actually get 1. I thought it was 3. You get 1, which is decent. You can upgrade whatever relic you buy with the Relic thing, which is decent. It is very expensive, there's about 5 million gold. We have a copy of Wild, who, if you've been collecting all of his dupes since his initial release for free, it'll be at 5/6 now, which isn't too bad. And then the last stage is Infinite. It is the extra step, which is, you can't, if I get this reward, I can't immediately go to the next step. I have to complete all of it before I can then reset it. And it is, I guess, a raffle to get maybe some free merch, some diamonds. Not actually too sure myself, to be honest. You know, you've got the Moments We Remember. Moments We Remember is an event that we get every now and again where you fight bosses from the story, but this may be King and Diane themed, due to, once again, this is their update, basically. And it's got King and Diane pictures on it, so it's not very far shout that we could get that. And you've got the Lance event, which is actually very cool. Once again, we spoke about the fact that if you want to get the that mission done in the missions, that you need to kill 5 bosses. It is quite a long event. As you can see, I've got 6,600 points. It's quite a long event. It's about 5-10 minutes to run, depending on how far you get. If you get to the endless mode, once again, you can keep going forever. But the rewards from it are okay, but once you collect all the rewards, that's it. There's no need to play the game. You got these other boss clear ones, but they're not really that worth it. They're okay. I guess maybe for a newer player, you may want to do it for these Awakening Stones, but for an old player like myself, it's not really too worth it. Now we scroll down, we've got the Spin Wheel event, which isn't out, but will be out soon, maybe next week or the week after, not too sure. I think these two events are going to release together. The Event Boss Parade, basically they're releasing a new boss every week for 4 weeks. So this week I believe was the Gloom boss, and then next week they'll do another one, so forth, so forth. Challenge clears, these are linked between all 4 of the bosses, so let's just say you're only going to do it for the rewards you want, so you get the rewards you want from one boss, you stop playing it, you get another rewards from another boss that you want, so on and so forth, but the total clears are connected, so you don't need to clear every boss 25 times to get the rewards at the end, which is pretty decent. In the event shop, if you do end up purchasing everything and you want to keep doing it for the challenge clear rewards, you can, because any spare materials you have for this boss, you can exchange for the other event boss materials, which is pretty cool, and it's something that they always do, which is really nice. Now onto the event exchange shop, which we've just clicked on. It's okay. You know, you get this emote I really like. I like this new Sin emote. It's really cool. And you've got some other just standard stuff. The event shop normally isn't too good. It's normally just general character awakening materials or just character enhancement materials to some degree. And then you've got this currency, which is standard whenever they have events like this. This currency is always there. And they've got a new emote as well, which I'd recommend grabbing because we don't know when it will return. A full soldiers thing we spoke about already. 1 diamond a day. It's pretty good. Diamond perks. They've changed how diamond perks work. So normally it would stop at 900. Giving you an SSR outfit. Now it goes onwards to 1,500, giving you Oslo coins for the 1,200 and 1,500 marker, which is decent. You can spend them to get like the 3 times floor 4 bird and deer like tokens, or if you save up 300 of them, you can get a pickable relic like the ones you get in that event box. I think you can get Nidhogg, bird, dog, deer. Don't think you can get rat yet. I don't think that's a thing. But that is it for the event, and I want to go on to the new player stuff. This is going to be a very long video, so make sure you've got a drink. Okay, so now on to the new players section. So, if you've started, let's just say, from the start of 2025 to now, I'm going to consider you a brand new player. Solely because you've probably missed out on a lot of key content. You missed out on the Slime collaboration, the re-rerun, which was, in my opinion, still one of the best collaborations we've ever had in terms of the characters. All really good. And it was probably my favourite collaboration we've had in quite a while. But you missed out on a lot. So, after you start playing the game, the first thing you want to do is focus on the story and unlocking the ability to not only engrave your gear, but also to level up your characters to level 100, as you need to complete a certain stage to be able to do that. Also, I recommend completing the Heroes Way challenges. So if we go to here, we go to challenges. Heroes Way, I recommend completing this because you can get a lot of really decent rewards, including, some of these aren't too good, but like you get some decent characters. You get characters to do sort of every demon in the game. You get some red characters, you get some green, you get 2 blues, and you get some more greens down here to do Belmuth. And you got green Brynhild is actually pretty good. Nashi, which is a very good one, and then Ragbarn's okay, and Freya's also a very good one to get for free as well. And then you've also got these Forgotten One-step evolution tokens, which basically you can only use it on characters that released before 2022, which, by the way, is absolutely horrendous, because characters like myself, people like myself, don't have those characters, or already have those characters leveled up, so it's kind of iffy. But if you're a new player, I recommend using them on like characters that are required for the story. So let's say this mission requires you to use Helbram, or for you to use an Arthur or something like that, and you don't have them leveled up. Use this on them, because most of them, definitely at least a version of Helbram and Arthur, released before 2022, so you can use it on them instead of wasting your own materials, because those materials you can use on characters like UR bases, or the newer, more useful characters that can be used in modern content, whether that be demonic beasts, demons, or even just general PvE, PvP sort of thing. And now on to after you the ability to engrave your gear and get character level 100, you can start doing the other key content. I call key content is basically stuff that is you sort of need to complete. Let me explain to you like what key content really is. So the Fort Soldieress, demons, Demon King, Creature's Nest, Night Boss isn't really key content, but you could sort of class it as that. PvP is, but we're going to ignore PvP because it is, once again, very much you have to have the characters, you really need a decent box to really be able to climb quite high. Training Grow, once again, key content, and enables you to get engraving stones as well as hammers. The memory of the world tree, it's needed. because the world tree is where you get these little pizza slices from, which you can then make relics with. Also, you can grab the other sort of relic making materials and also the cards you need for the demonic beast sets. Also, you can get some other nice materials here. I always end up buying them because I'm currently on the road to upgrading every relic, which is very expensive. What have I written down? I've written down a lot of stuff. So you've got check achievements. So achievements here, as you can see, I've done a lot of the achievements. I've nearly maxed out all of them, but checking them for the easy ones. So there are a lot of easy ones that give you quite good diamonds. So here it is. So win with only one hero boss battle, in boss battle, and then it's like the boss battles, right? And it's okay. Make sure you do it on normal first. You don't have to do it on hell. It's actually for normal, hard, extreme, and hell. But just make sure you claim the reward when you do it. So when I initially done it, I didn't claim the reward. So I'd done them all with one character, and then forgot to claim the reward and realised I got to do hard extreme again, because hell wasn't a thing when I did it. Unfortunately, they've not added it for like the chaos difficulty one. I don't know why. Maybe because it's too easy diamonds, or they just believe it'd be too hard for the players, even though it wouldn't really be. But there's a lot of them, and there's really easy diamonds. Make sure you check achievements for the easy ones as well. There are a bunch of other easy ones, like make friends, which is good. And once again, these achievements give you quite a bit towards the main gauge, those main gauge being the achievement point rewards, and early on they're pretty handy to get a ton of diamonds really quick, and it can be really easy to get diamonds really quick. Also these level ones as well, I will talk about level a little bit, and that would be when you are farming levels, just make sure you're doing gold dungeon at the same time. I recommend doing gold dungeon. You don't have to do the highest stage of gold dungeon. The second highest one is completely fine. Not only do you get a nice chunk of XP from it, but you can also work on the rank up one as well as the acquire gold. So as you can see, I'm level 140. Don't worry, you don't need to grind to 140. Getting to level 120, I would say, is fair. After that, you don't have to worry about levels unless you really do want the achievements or the diamonds from the achievements, like what I've done. I've done it just for the sake of I'm a content creator, and it's seeing that it says 140 just makes me happy as a content creator. That is the sole reason. But after levels 120, it's 19,122 XP per level, which is a lot more than like the 5k I was asking for initially. That's the reason why I don't recommend really grinding past anything past 120 unless you really do want the diamonds or you just want the additional stamina and friends you can get. Next thing, make sure not to summon on not so very useful banners. So this current banner we got is, in my opinion, the best banner in the game, hands down. Just general content we've had in it, insane. So not only has it got a lot of UR bases, which is something quite rare. UR bases only started coming out last year, and there's a lot on this banner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5 of them being, of course, the older ones, and then of course then you've got King and Deanne, who are the new rate-up characters. So out of all of these, they're all somewhat decent. Thor's, once again, very good for demonic beasts, as well as certain PvE content. You've then got new King and Deanne, once again, new King and Deanne, so they're going to be useful for certain content. Melee Liz, once again, not global anniversary, New Year banner, they were, and they're very good. As you get them, highly recommend leveling them up. I would actually say they're better than King and Deanne currently. Of course, King and Deanne are getting a buff as of this video being released. They'll be getting a buff in about a few days, 28th of May. Lance, very good character, good for Endura, as well as very good with King and Deanne. Sab, I would say she probably is the best taunt for unknown characters. Escanor, he's decent, he fell off quite hard, you really sort of do need dupes for him. Thor's good, but like not only that, you've got like LR Merlin's on the banner, you've got LR Queen Deanne, LR Brynhild, Gelder, Boldir, Green Camilla, the currently best Percival, the best Esterosa in the game, Nauseans. This is the most stacked banner in a while, and I recommend doing about a rotation. The reason I wouldn't recommend going any further unless you're willing to spend is solely so you can save for upcoming content. So I will explain to you now roughly how the banner system works. Every end of month we get a big banner. That banner will have normally a live stream on the JP YouTube channel where I'll go over the character and the update. It is normally the big end of month character, the big banner that normally is going to either meta change or they're going to be useful for something, whether that be Demonic Beast or PvP in some way. And let me explain to you the next. I'll explain it probably until the end of this year. I won't know roughly when the banner is going to be, but I can't give you like a date, but I can say what month. So June will be a 600 diamond banner. It won't be a festival because they don't do back-to-back festivals anymore after we politely told them we don't like this, don't do it again, and they didn't do it again. July will be a festival. August will be a collaboration, a new collaboration. That's all the info we currently have. September will be a festival. October will be a collaboration. November will be the global point anniversary with like 5.5 anniversary or something, and then December is end of year. So the only time we'll have two festivals back to back will be November and December, and it'll be quite a heavy one because we're going collab, festival, which is, it's always the end of the year is always the roughest for free-to-play players, but that's just unfortunately how it is. And now on to yeah, so just some general advice. You know, you see me with this insane box EC and insane GP points, insane high constellation. Don't feel like you need to push CC early on. You don't. Because when you're doing this early content, you're getting early characters, you don't really need to push, at least that much, because you don't want to be wasting resources on characters that you could be using on, you know, decent characters, or saving resources for the next upcoming character that you know will be useful for your box. Just save it. Honestly, it's worth you just saving rather than wasting it on, you know, upgrading this SSR character because they're old and, you know, you're not really going to use them, but you just box CC and GP points, right? That is an excuse you can use later on when you reach, like, like a few million box CC and you think, okay, I really want to be able to attempt dogs, I got the best team for it, but my team isn't tanky enough, or I don't deal enough damage, or I want some more crit chance, crit damage, so on and so forth, crit resistance, crit defense. Then yes, then you can use it as an excuse to push. But at the moment, as you're a new player, probably not. Make sure you also 100% the first 6 chapters. So the first, scroll through, oh my god, so many chapters. So the first 6 chapters, the only way to 100% them is to get the 5 hearts and complete the side quest. I recommend doing that because it gives you 30 diamonds after doing that. Past chapter 6, every chapter onwards, as long as you complete all the missions, all the main missions within it, you get the 30 diamonds at the end. But some people don't know that there are 30 diamonds for completing all the side missions through chapters 1 to 6. Don't feel bad if you can't complete new content. Like, honestly, don't feel bad about it. Normally, the way Netmarble release content is normally the content is designed towards players like myself, or to sort of elevate players like myself to push for further box CC and constellation to be able to complete the content. If you cannot complete it, don't worry. It's just the normal Netmarble thing. They don't really release content for the newer players, which is unfortunate. But don't worry if you can't complete it. Don't feel like you need to push yourself to be able to try and beat the content. Don't feel like your account is worthless because you can't beat the content. Trust me, sometimes some content is extremely hard for no apparent reason, but that's just the way it is sometimes. Also, very common thing that some people don't do early game is make sure that you put your alt levels into your characters. So if you get, let's say, you pull... Let's find a really useless character. Who's really, really useless? I need to find someone like, okay, this SSR Liz, she's completely useless, right? But I still got a 6/6, and the reason is, not only is it GP points, but it is box CC, and that is huge. That is what you want. You want box CC and you want GP points, and the best way to do that is by putting alt levels into these characters. Also, another reason why I recommend it is, yes, the character may be useless now, but what happens if they get an LR and they become broken? Then you end up in a situation that some people are in, especially my friends, who don't really oh, screw it, I need to super, I need to, you know, SA6 this brand new Super Breaking 6 this brand new character, right? Straight up day one. They don't really need to, you know, they're not going to be attempting super hard content with them, they just want to do it for the sake of doing it. And in the process they use a dupe of a character they haven't got 6/6, and then later on down the line that person gets an LR and they've only got the 1 or 2 6, and what do you have to do? You end up having to go to the shop, or the coin shop, and you have to purchase the you have to go to the coin shop and you have to purchase one of these boxes to get a dupe of the character. As you can see, I've got a lot of 6/6 characters. Look, there you go, there's LR Barn. You know, if you don't have him 6/6, because normally, I'm not like, this Barn hasn't been on too many banners anyway, so if you didn't have him 6/6, it's not really too big of a problem, but that's just how it is. What else? Yeah, that's really it for new players. It just... don't feel like you're forced to do new content because it's new. If you can't do certain content, don't feel too bad about it. Especially if you can't do Bird and Deer Floor 4. That is not designed for what it says. I'll quickly show you what I mean by it's not designed for it. Or at least not designed for a new player. On here it says 4 million box CC and 5.5 million. Someone with 4 million box CC is not going to be attempting floor 4, and if they do, they might not be able to beat it. They could possibly if they have a right box, or they've whaled into specific characters. And Deer, with 5.5 million, you are not beating floor 4, ever. if you're maybe 15 mil or even 12 mil, it's probably possible, but anything lower than that, I don't think it's relatively possible, and I would personally like for them to say, this is floors 1 to 3, and then have one for floor 4 as well, as they are completely different content, having insane gimmicks, and sometimes even requiring you to run completely different teams just to be able to beat it. And that's really it for new players. Now we're going to go on to returning players. And now on to returning players. So this is where it gets really hard, is because returning players, you could be returning from missing out on a year, 2 years, 3 years, or even just a few months, and you would have missed out on a lot of content, a lot of new characters, and maybe even a lot of, I guess, meta-breaking or replacement characters for previous content that you may be doing. And now this is where it sort of becomes iffy, right? I don't know when you've stopped playing, but what I would recommend immediately is to get the relics you are missing. If you have the ability to do demonic beasts, my recommendation would be to get the relics you are missing. Not only do you get a lot of GP points per relic, but they'll also boost your character's CC, as well as make them, you know, sometimes completely usable. Some characters aren't usable without their relic. Nanashi is quite a good example of that. He's kind of really bad without his relic, but with his relic, he's the second best unknown support in the game, only topped by Camilla, and then you need her relic, which is only obtainable through Rat. So early game, Nanashi is the best unknown support character in the game, and you do need to beat dogs to get his relic, but still, it is what it is. But for new players, I guess the only way to really say what you need to do is just firstly finish the story, make sure you finish all the story, whether it be Ragnarok, Four Knights, or Catastrophe, or even just the Sin story, or at least get as far as you can. You don't have to finish it if you're struggling, it's completely fine. Especially the later stages of the original Sin story, it can get quite hard, quite later on, so don't worry if you can't complete it, because it's normal stuff, right? But depending on where you are, if you're at the point where you think pushing box CC might be needed, then start pushing box CC. And also what I'd recommend, if you are a new player, is to summon on this current banner, because the banner is very good. For new players it's good, for old players like myself it's good, and for the returning player it's very good. It has a lot of just generally good content, good characters that you may have missed out on. So if you've not been playing for a few years, UR bases wouldn't have existed, and all of them are they're all useful in their own way. Demon King, Hell, Queen Liz, Lolly Merlin's now got an LR. If you've been playing since her launch, let's say you stopped playing after her launch, she's now got a legendary rarity variant, which is actually one of the most broken LRs in the game still. Transcendent Bond, another LR. This banner is just generally good for everyone. Nauseans, so a lot of the newer characters that you would have missed if you're a returning player, are all in this. Or most of these characters were released last year or the year prior to that, but are still usable to this day, and this banner was actually made by the players. We voted for these characters, so these characters, of course, are going to be somewhat useful for even returning players themselves, whether you're getting duplicates for old characters you've already had, or you're just getting these characters for the first time. They're all good, and they're all worth getting a dupe for. We also got the free banner as well, which is really mid, which I actually forgot to explain about the fortune teller in the first secret garden area. This is where you spend the tickets. Realistically, you can get like 6 a day every time. I've only got 6 a day every time so far, but you can get up to 100 apparently. And then also, if you're pushing box CC, start with rare gear. Once again, I have a whole video going over me pushing box CC, how I do it, how I explained it. Basically, I think that's where I was pushing from 14 to 15 mil. I basically had a series on it where I would weekly update you guys on my push, what I was doing, and how I was doing it. Just if you guys want more in-depth detail on like box CC or certain other content that you may be struggling with, I'd be more than welcome to make videos on it. Also, if you want more direct advice, I guess, because for returning players it's hard to give advice for. It's really, really hard to give advice for returning players. Just leave a comment and I'll, of course, go over it and respond. When it comes on to, I think I'll go over relics. I'll go over some of the relics. I'll go over the first, I'll go over up to Nidhogg. I won't do Rat, because most players can't do Rat. I'm going to be honest. Most new players won't be able to do Rat, or most returning players won't be able to do Rat. So I'll just say for relics, good or bad. This is bad at the moment. LR Barnes relic, so it's for LR Barnes. LR Barnes half decent. It's not a bad relic to get for him. It does boost his attack by 50%, which is kind of insane. Bad. LR Lilia's relic, it's actually pretty good, especially if you actually have LR Lilia. It does make her much tankier by increasing her basic stats by 50%, which I believe is the largest basic stat boost a character can give themselves in the game. Kind of crazy. Arthur's kind of mid. LR Escanor's one is actually it's decent, but it's very mid, and I still wouldn't recommend it unless you really wanted to get it. LR Merlin's one, 100% recommend. it doesn't give you much in terms of stats, but increasing your attack by 20% when attacking a debuffed enemy in PvP, especially if you do have LR Merlin, is going to do a lot of damage, and can be the difference between you killing someone and not killing someone. This Merlin's one's actually pretty good, especially if you're running sort of like an unknown team, if you're using it on the Green Infinity Merlin, which gives you an additional ult gauge. If you're farming gold, this is the Merlin I use with this relic, and it is very good for farming gold. Magelda's relic, once again, she's a demonic beast character, so you definitely want to get her relic. If you don't have any bird relics, I 100% recommend getting Magelda's first. It'll make it much easier, because I'm pretty sure you should have Magelda. LR Brynhild's one's pretty decent if you do have LR Brynhild, or even Green Brynhild, but I would still recommend Magelda's over it. There's not really any other half-decent relics, and now we're getting to the ones that are really cheap and pretty useless. Now to Deer. So Deer, it's okay. Goddess Liz's one, she fell off quite hard in the meta, and I doubt she'll ever get an LR because she's quite broken, and also we have Melee Liz that does also have the Liz style shield, or at least the same effect. LR King's one, it's decent, but I don't think it's really necessary, especially if you haven't got some of the others down here. The Archangels ones are all quite nice because they've got graces. That is solely it. Red Tamio has the best grace in the game still. Oh, this Liz one isn't bad. So if you do have LR Liz, I actually recommend this one. Increases allies' HP-related stats by 15%. That is 15% lifesteal boost, and it's actually pretty good. The lifesteal, unfortunately, doesn't work on Demonic Beasts because Demonic Beasts lower your lifesteal by 40%. But the HP still works, and 15% HP boost, especially on some of those really difficult Demonic Beasts, can be the difference between you winning and losing, your main DPS or your main support character. And once again, if you had to pick one relic from this Demonic Beast, I'd recommend Jormungand's. Jormungand is the Demonic Beast specialist character for Deer. Yeah, I recommend getting it. It's worth it. Yes, technically, she also has a rat version as well. You do need the green version if you want to get this relic and make it useful. It doesn't work on rat, which is what the red Jormungand is used for. This Daniful Lizard's relic is actually pretty useful as well, but I would say it's definitely not as good as Jormungand's. Jormungand's is the best relic for Deer. Now on to dogs. Scarly's one's decent. Matrona's one's decent. There's not really many good dog relics. Nanashi's is like the best, one of the better ones. I highly recommend getting it, but the most important one, once again, is going to be Red Tonar. She's the Demonic Beast specialist character for dogs. You do need the red variant. The red variant is made for Skull and Hearty, which is of course what the dogs is. And this relic boosts your attack, your HP. Sorry, it doesn't boost your attack, it boosts your HP and gives you ult gauge whenever you use a skill with the hero. Does not include the ultimate, as you can see here, by excluding the ultimate. LR Glocks, his relic's okay. It boosts Fairy's stats, so maybe if you don't have maybe one of the new collaboration characters from the Eminence and Shadow collaboration, and you have LR Glocks, his relic's not too bad if you really want to replace one of them. I don't know who you would replace, but you can. Nidhogg, once again, has got not really that many good relics. The best relic being, where is it? Queen Diane's one. LR Queen Diane's very good. Freya's relic is also very good. And I think the most important one, once again, is Freya's. Either, doesn't matter which one you get it for, either red or green, because it is meant for Nidhogg. So you should always be focusing on is the Demonic Beast relics that are made for that Demonic Beast. For example, once again, Bird, you've got Magelda's relic. Deer, you've got Jormungand's relic. Dogs, you've got Tonar's relic. And then for Nidhogg, you've got Freya's relic. Once again, you should be focused on those ones first, because it will make the whole grind on that Demonic Beast much easier, and sometimes it makes it like a million times easier, like a lot easier, to a point where it's like, okay, now I can properly farm this, and now I can beat floor 3. Because sometimes the difference between you not being able to beat floor 3 and being able to beat floor 3 is just by having the specialist character's relic. It's pretty broken. Some of them are, like, hers is the ability to remove stance, give yourself a 20% all stat boost. She gives herself a 10% attack related stat boost per goddess on the field, including giving herself the goddess race. It's pretty broken. Especially on these later Demonic Beasts, you kind of do feel like you need them. Actually, I feel like you sort of need them for all of them, apart from Bird. I feel like Bird's definitely the one where you can sort of get away with not having Magelda and still beating floor 3. And that's going to be it for returning players. Now we're going to like the miscellaneous section of basically just the questions you guys gave me, or the advice you wanted from the questions you gave me. Okay, here we are now onto the miscellaneous section. These are the questions that you guys have given me. I sort of didn't know where to put them, so I just put them at the bottom, so I can sort of go through all of them, and I will be going over all the questions you guys have given me, just to sort of, just so you can all sort of get your questions answered. Of course, if you want me to answer them in more detail, or I've missed out something, let me know in the comments. Of course, I'll go over it. So, firstly, someone asked how to make teams. So, the way you normally make a team is you just look online and see which one's better. No, I'm joking. Normally what you do is that let me go through my hero arena teams, because, or even just the teams like this. So this is a very odd team. You're thinking, oh, well, it's all giants, right? Why are you running all giants? So you think Aaron? No, Aaron's not a giant. Aaron has an additional race of giant. So what you normally do is your backline character is normally a support character of some sort. Let me go to I use Nighthead Boss. So this is the team I used for Nighthead Boss yesterday in a video. The way you normally build it is you normally need 3 up front, 1 in the back. Your back character normally is a support character, either boosting your your substats, or when they come in, they sort of end up doing something. Sort of like the blue Fraldrin Rimuru teams. You kill blue Fraldrin, and instead of having the Nashi and back to boost stats, or Camilla, they have Rimuru to counter the meta team, which at the time was Hell, who had the immortality buff. And normally that's what you do. You want to sort of build a team where they're all the same characteristic, although they're all the same race, and they all work very well together. Certain characters have quite strict restrictions, whether that be a certain race or a certain characteristic. For example, LR Merlin has quite strict, just really strict restrictions on her passive, where she only works with unknowns, which is fair enough, but also Merlin does sort of make up for it by being an insane booster. Not only does she boost basic stats, she boosts attack, and not only that, she is a DPS, like one of the best DPSs in the game at the moment. And she boosts your own stats by a lot, and because of that, some characters are able to take up the place of not only a support base, but also as an attacker as well. And normally, most newer characters try and sort of fill in the fact that yes, they're supporting the team, but they're also a DPS. You've got Chaos Arthur, who not only boosts humans' basic stats, but also does lots of damage as well. You've got Sap, who has a taunt. Even characters like that, who maybe don't boost your team's basic stats, but they sort of take the role if they're going to take all the hits. Queen Diane's quite a good example of that. Initially on her release, she wasn't the best character, she was a taunt character, and she would have a damage reduction. She would give your entire team about 40% damage reduction when she had a stancer, which was useful, and she had all gauge control, and she had a healing ultimate. She sort of played the role as a tank, a healer, and an ult control character. Then when she got her LR, she got something that was even more broken. Her stance gave you a 10% attack related stat boost, and not only that, at that time she'd also been given a relic, which when you played a stance and you had her relic, she gave you a 30% damage increase for 2 turns. Not only that, she had an insane stat boost, insane crit defense boost, and as well as just generally just a whole much better kit. She still also kept her 40% damage reduction, which is insane. But really, building a team is more dependent on... Actually, I'll show off my PvP team, right? I'm using this team. I'm not using fairies at the moment, at least not until King gets buffed. And Camilla's in back. You probably think, who's Camilla? Camilla's from the Catastrophe story. That is an original story made by the 7DS development team. And she plays a very good role. She is my insanely broken support character, and she is the best unknown support in the game, of course. Unless you have Nanashi. Nanashi is a little bit worse than her, but she's the best that you're going to get, especially if you're endgame. So as you can see here, her passive works in the back. That is also what we're going to look for as well quite a bit, is passives that work in the back, activated in sub slot. The way to check that is you just click on a character's passive and you'll see it available in the sub slot. Of course, if it doesn't work, it will say active when entering battle. That is the only works if it's up front. This is the works if it's in the back. Also, relics have the same symbols as well. So if you're wondering if a relic works in the front or the back, you can click on the relic and it will say here whether active even in sub slot or only active when entering battle. So make sure you check that before you are building a team, if the character you are picking because their passive works in the back, but also make sure they don't have restrictions. So as you can see there, when I clicked on it, you saw a bunch of restrictions like exclude demonic beast battle. A good example of that is our lovely new festival, who actually has some restrictions. As you can see here, they sort of work... Okay, it actually goes off the screen. They work basically everywhere apart from they don't work inside of demons, so active outside of deathmatch. So it doesn't work in deathmatch. And that is the only restriction they have. They do work in demonic beasts, but just not in deathmatch. And once again, their talents have that. If we go to Melee Liz, which is another example, that sometimes their passives and their relics don't, and even their talents aren't all the same. Some characters are restricted quite differently. Of course, normally that is to sort of balance out content. For example, Melee Liz, they only work in the front, but they work everywhere. If you click on their their talent, you can see it only works when they're in the front, of course, but it also now doesn't work in demons. So as long as you make sure that you are checking when you're using a character, okay, do they work here? Okay, does their main gimmick, the main way they can get their attack, the main way they can do damage, or if it's a support character in the back, make sure that they are providing the support you think they're providing. Make sure you check these things. So these are something you should really be looking for when you want to build a team. Also, when you want to build a team, You want to make sure that your CC is somewhat decent, of course, depending on what content you're doing. If it's PvP, it's a lot different. It's sort of like whatever CC you can get to. You know, there's not really a CC you should be aiming for, because CC is very heavily impacted by box CC and Constellation, which you can only really get by playing the game. Once again, the longer you've been playing the game, the more the game rewards you with, once again, you have more characters, higher box CC, higher Constellation, so on and so forth. How to properly gear units was something someone asked me as well. I have a whole series of talking about how I build characters, and normally it depends on the role. Some characters are HP based, so of course they're going to be wanting HP defense. Other characters are attack based, so of course they're going to want attack crit. But some characters have both sets. And the reason I recommend both sets for them is certain content. For example, Lance. Lance is actually a very good example of this. Even Melee Liz, but Melee Liz I just run HP defense because they power absurd amounts of damage anyway. Where's my Lance? Here's my Lance. So, I have two sets for Lance. I have HP defense and I have attack crit. HP defense because in Endurer, he needs HP defense to tank. And attack crit because when I'm doing other content, whether that be Bird Floors 1 to 3 for a video, or Dogs Floors 1 to 3 for a video showcasing a human or a fairy, I'm going to run him attack crit because he can tank pretty well. My box CC and my Constellation sort of make up for the fact that he's going to be losing some health. So, it's sort of, you know, it's okay. But then also there's some characters that I feel like don't really need HP defense. So Thor, she needs to deal 300,000 damage to get her main part of her passive to stack. And because of that, you want to run her attack crit. If you're on HP defense and she doesn't deal the damage, she is useless. Without her buff, she is useless. I do have a HP defense set if you are wondering, but that is solely for the Link, because she is 6'6", and she's a UR base. That means she's got some of the highest CC in the entire game. That's the only reason I have it. Also, when you want to build gear for characters, so for example, I said like, oh, if they're DPS, you want HP defense. If they're HP based, you want like HP defense, or they're a support, you want HP defense. Some characters do have the ability to sort of, they want HP defense, but you're also going to make them attack crit as well, and that is the Grace characters. So the characters that have Graces, so if we go to characteristics, we'll go to the 4 Archangels who have a Grace. I passed them, they were the first one, I'm blind. That's 4 Knights. Okay, I'm stupid. Here it is. So these Archangels all have some form of Grace. The Graces are additional buffs, and they do work when you use them as sub-slot characters on your... let's just say I'm running Lance, and I've got her as a sub-slot for Lance. He will get this effect, which is basically increase the hero's attack by 5% for each buff or stance on the enemy when using a skill. This can be pretty useful, and this is why my Margaret has two gear sets, HP defense and attack crit. So if I want to have like a really DPS person, really DPS character, I run her attack crit. If I'm, let's just say, using her on someone like Mazno, I'm going to say Mazno, I'm going to give HP defense, because Mazno really does want to tank, and he can put out insane damage with the Grace as well, because the Grace is pretty handy, and that Grace can actually be used sometimes, or it used to be used back in the day on like someone like Magelda or Transcendent Barn to get like top scores on Knighthood boss, because of the insane attack boost. Another one someone asked is when to buy cosmetics. So, I can tell you the truth, and I can tell you like the free-to-play version. So the truth is, if you want to buy outfits, if you want to get outfits just in general, or cosmetics, as you will, whatever you want to call them, the best and the most efficient way to get them is with money. I know it's going to sound odd, like, oh, well, it's not a very free-to-play thing. Yeah, the best way to get it is with money. If not, a full set. So, here's a good example. Who am I missing outfits for? God damn it, I don't. Okay, Percy. I don't have outfits for Percy. For example, if I want to buy this, go to purchase, go to shop. Because he's not out, let's say I didn't buy his outfits when he initially launched, each piece of his outfit is going to cost me 30 diamonds. And there's only one way that's going to get cheaper. Every single New Year festival banner, there is a outfit sale. The outfit sale turns 30 diamond outfits, 30 diamond outfits into 20 diamond outfits, 20 diamond outfits into 15 diamond outfits, and I believe 10 diamond outfits, or 15 diamond outfits into 12, 10 into 7, so on and so forth. But the best way to buy them if you're a free-to-play and you don't want to spend any money on the game is, unfortunately, you will have to wait until New Year where they do the outfit sale. The only catch with the outfit sale is they don't include some of the newer characters, because then it would be like, oh, well, what's the point of spending diamonds on it when they're going to go on sale soon anyway? And it sort of incentivizes people to buy it with money as well. But if you want to do it in terms of like, you don't mind spending money on the game, buying them with money is the best way to do it. If you're going to get the outfits at some point anyway, because buying it with diamonds can get really expensive. and I've made the mistake of, you know, buying outfits with diamonds and then not being able to, you know, finish a rotation with banner. And my friends have made that mistake many a times, and I have warned them not to do it, and they still do it. And the same thing happens. They can't reach P on a banner, they can't get the character, and then they get screwed over for an entire meta until that character gets wiped out of meta. Unfortunately, it's a common trend, so make sure if you are going to buy the outfits and you're free to play, you're going to wait until New Year. And if you don't mind spending money on the game, best way to do it, buy them with cash. Best way to do it, just buy them with cash. When do you stop building a character? So you stop building a character when the character becomes useless for you, where you just no use anymore, like Nabe. I used to use Nabe all the time. She used to be a really good just attack booster. But now why would I run Nabe when I can run Lolly Merlin, who's not only an insane support character, and actually provides more attack than Nabe, but she also is a DPS as well, where Nabe was a very strict support character. Yes, if I pop Nabe's ultimate, I still do have more basic stats with Nabe, or more attack with Nabe if I pop her ultimate, but I need to pop her ultimate to get that. Whereas I can get some basic stats and have another DPS on the field if I just run Lolly Merlin, LR Lolly Merlin, who is much better. And you basically just stop investing in a character when they stop becoming useful to you. You know, if you're still using them in certain content and they're still the best at certain content, then they're still worth investing in. Or if you can complete the content with ease, you know, and they're level 90, then yeah, maybe just level 100 them so it becomes a little bit easier, but you don't have to invest in their gear or their outfits or, you know, upgrade their relic unless you really just want to make it slightly easier. And you should only really be doing that when you are late game like myself, or you're like 12, 13, 14 million bucks. You see, that's when you should maybe try and start making super easy content even easier to a point where it's mindless, which is what I've been doing. Just upgrading certain demon characters I use, whether that be like upgrading LR Lostvane's relic, or upgrading Ragnarok Diane's relic, or Danafor Liz's relics, characters like that. Someone said, when do you stop pushing box CC? It really depends on how many characters you got. When you've got a lot of key characters, and the only reason you can't beat the content is because it's doing too much damage to you, and then your characters are very well built, they've got like all the gear, they've got outfits, they've got like upgraded relics because you've bought the packs, or you know, you've got their relic but it's not upgraded and you really want to do Bird Floor 4. You know, it is sometimes the fact that either maybe you don't understand the gimmicks, you need to watch a video, a guide video, understanding how said content works, or you need to start pushing box CC. Box CC, if you start pushing box CC, you'll also naturally start pushing GP points as well. If you want to push GP points, highly recommend buying every relic in the game. You can get a lot of GP points by pushing, by getting every relic. You don't get much CC, but GP points you get a lot of, and that is a huge boost to your CC. Especially if you're able to complete a constellation, you're looking at, I would say, I think I calculated like I think if you complete Constellation of Pride, you get like an insane like 4,000 CC booster character, which is insane. Of course, it doesn't display it in the menu. For example, like if we had this exact same Margaret and you were a brand new player, we had the same gear, same outfits, everything upgraded, completely the same, we would have the same CC. Box CC and Constellation only show when I go to a team. For example, that Margaret was 74,000. If I just quickly remove everyone, put Margaret on the team, remove the link, please, thank you, and I remove all the cards as well, you'll see that my 74,000 CC turns into something much higher because of Constellation and Box CC. And you should really only be pushing, there you go, it adds like 16,000, which is a lot. You should only really pushing Box CC and Constellation when you reach what you believe is your ceiling for like obtaining new characters. For example, if I scroll all the way down, right, you can see I've not missing many characters. Some of them are like really old and like semi-exclusive, they don't really come back too often, but you only really start pushing it when you've got a lot of characters. You think, okay, I've got a lot of like SR characters that are not very built, I've got lots of relics I haven't got, then yeah, start pushing Box CC. And of course I have a video going over how I pushed Box CC, but when you should start doing it is a lot more based on what your goals are, what content you're trying to beat at the time, what content you can't beat, what content you can beat, as well as also the characters you have as well. And this is just my advice for when pushing Box CC. Don't spend all your resources pushing Box CC, because you don't want to, you know, use all your resources, new broken character comes out, and you don't have the, you can't level them up, or you can't super awaken them. It's best to save for characters like that, and when you have extra materials, then start putting it into more characters you're not really going to use, but might still be useful, whether they're only useful in Chaos Mode PvP, or, you know, they're useful for like some random event, like, I don't know, like who's useful in some random event? I really can't think of any. Maybe Blue Cusack? I don't know. Possibly. And sometimes it's actually worth upgrading some of these characters because there's a possibility that they could get an LR in the future. Because it's up for any character can get an LR at this point. You never know. And now on to what to do after you finish the story. So, after you finish the story, what you should really do is think, okay, I finished the story, what can and can't you do? So, let's say you can't do Demon King, or at least you can't do Hell Demon King. Fair enough, whatever. You know, as long as you understand the gimmicks of Extreme, you can do Extreme for a while, and then eventually when you push your box a little bit more, then yeah, then you can go do Hell. But the main content you should actually be focusing on is the content that you use to level up your characters. So, once again, Demon King, Extreme if you can do Extreme, if not, True Awakening's okay, you don't really need it. Relics, because relics can sometimes make or break a character. Engraving, so training grows, so you can engrave your gear and get the hammers. And also, this is going to sound really weird, but Reverse Stage. Reverse Stage can give you a lot of rewards, a lot of SSR tickets. Yes, it can be kind of hard, but if you are going to be pushing box CC, all I'm going to say is you might as well level up these characters that you can at least use in these stages. I've maxed out all of them. And you can also get some quite decent rewards, which are quite chunky diamonds, SSR tickets, which then you might be able to get more dupes for characters you need dupes for, which then, once again, is more GP points and more box CC, because each ult level is 400 CC and 3 GP points, which after a while can total a lot, especially if there's lots of characters, whether it be rare characters or SR characters you've not put the ult levels into. It's a lot of ult levels and a lot of GP points, a lot of CC, and it's always worth it in the end because every little bit of CC does end up making a big difference after a while. And that's really it. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I hope it's helped you out in some sort of way or another. If I've missed out anything, let me know. And yeah, thank you for watching.